Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mid-Atlantic Mauling League Spike Magazine Trophy. We're in week number 8. Happy Memorial Day weekend to those of you in the United States. Happy Sunday to everyone else. We've got our second game today, up tonight. It's going to be a really good one. I'm really excited to watch this one. Tonight it's going to be the Juxtaposed Juggernauts versus Real American Heroes, War Horsemen versus Dead Fred. It's Chaos Renegades versus Dark Elves, another very interesting matchup. I think this Chaos Renegades team's very interesting. Dark Elves always interesting. I'm very excited to talk about the rosters, but we'll take a look at the standings first, and then we'll kick over and take a look at these two rosters. Is it Reikis? Reikis? I apologize if I got it wrong, but welcome to the stream. SP Beaver, welcome to the stream. Bad Dog Eric, Lionheart, Doug the Minotaur. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Ricky's like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. In Division A, that's where we are tonight. In first place, the Real American Heroes, coached by Dead Fred, the Dark Elf team. 5-1-0 is their record. They are advancing to the semifinals. They have made the cut. Nick Satan's Cenozoic Park, a Lizardman team, also made the cut with a 5-1-1 record. And tonight, the Juxtaposed Juggernauts will be up against the Real American Heroes. Ricky says, I'm French, so it's hard for me to explain how to pronounce it. I completely understand. I understand those discussions. The Real American Heroes have already made the cut. The Juxtaposed Juggernauts cannot make the cut. That doesn't mean tonight's game doesn't matter. The Real American Heroes looking for SPP, looking to keep their players alive, looking to be in a little bit more of an advantageous position going into the semifinals, looking to secure a particular seeding. The Juxtaposed Juggernauts are looking for SPP. This season's not over. This is the midway point of the season. They're looking to gear up for the Dungeon Bowl. Maybe they're looking to permanently remove players from the Real American Heroes roster so that when the Juxtaposed Juggernauts inevitably come up against them again in the Dungeon Bowl, maybe they're a little bit weaker, right? These games still matter very much. Signor's Loop, welcome to the stream, says, onward to the Dungeon Bowl. In Division B, Doug the Minotaur, current league champion, the White Skull Windbreakers. His team is an Orc team. 6-1-0 is their record. They are guaranteed to advance as well with a whopping 19 points in this competition. Eric's Alphitis Australis in second place. A Wood Elf team, 5-1-1 is their record. They are not guaranteed to advance just yet. They lost to the Harlequins earlier today. That means that they have to not lose their Week 9 game. If they can do that, they will advance. Otherwise, it's up to BB Nuts, Harlequins, BBFC, an undead team. 4-2-1 is their record. They're still alive. If Alphitis Australis loses their game and the Harlequins win their game, then the Harlequins will be the ones advancing instead. Alphitis Australis has to go up against Mr. Yuck in Week 9, and the Harlequins have to go up against I Want to Be Like Doug in Week 9. So that's going to be two very interesting games to watch as well. Every week has been so hype and so close, and the upper half of these divisions have been absolutely fantastic to watch each and every week. Let's take a look at the home team's roster. The Juxtaposed Juggernauts are coming to TV of 1,470,000 gold. They have 12 players on the roster, nobody injured here. They have all three big guys. They have an Ogre, a Rat Ogre, and a Minotaur. They can choose from 4. Those are the 3 they picked up. They have an Orc, they have a Skaven, and a whole bunch of human linemen. 1 Oppo, 3 dedicated fans, 3 rerolls. They're going to be up against this Dark Elf team tonight. Dead Fred's Real American Heroes, Yo Joe. Also with a 12-man roster with a TV of 1490. Is that the same? It is not. So somebody has leveled up, and 20k going back to the Juggernauts in tonight's game. It's not going to matter too much. Maybe that's a coach or a cheerleader or something. But a 12-player roster, 4 blitzers, all 4 blitzers, of course. Both Witch Elves, a runner, and the rest are linemen. 1 Oppo, 6 dedicated fans, 3 rerolls. How do the two teams play? Let's take a look at the home team's roster first, because I think this is really interesting. I think War Horseman has done a really good job so far trying to kit out this roster. Look at this. He has a number of players with block. He has 5, 6, 7 players with block, all spread out across the team. He has the 3 big guys. Look at Ferdinand, has picked up the block skill, Mighty Blow, Frenzy, Horns, that's great. Grendel, the Ogre, has Mighty Blow and Guard. That's great as well. Grendel can sit up on the line or sit up somewhere at the front of the offense and just hold down the fort, right? They can hold that position, and that gives the offense sort of a place to start working at, right? You have somebody who can stay put, who can exert tackle zones, control the pitch, and you can decide, all right, we're going to set up to the left of him, or maybe we're going to set up to the right of him. That's a great pickup on that level 2 Ogre. But then look at the Rat Ogre, Rizzo, right? Has Frenzy, has Mighty Blow, of course. Picked up Block, picked up Claw. This is a straight up kill piece. Claw treats everybody's AV as if it's an 8+. If he was up against Wood Elves tonight, that wouldn't be a difference. But he's up against the Dark Elves tonight. The Dark Elves, one of the advantages of the Dark Elves is that they are less brittle than other elves. They don't have that advantage tonight up against this Rat Ogre. This Rat Ogre treats everybody's AV as if it's an 8+. Plus there's Mighty Blow, plus there's Block, plus there's Frenzy. Rizzo is looking to murder tonight. Great piece here on this roster. He picked up Kick as well with Ralph. I think that's a great pickup as well. Kick means against this team, maybe he kicks it shallow. He kicks it shallow, forces this Dark Elf team to get into a scrum early, and that's going to allow the Juxtaposed Juggernauts to just start pummeling them, right? There's 3 big guys, a number of players with Block to start beating up on them early. He has Yolanda, the Renegade Skaven, who's now a blodger with extra arms. That means the pickups are going to be a 2, positive pickups, that is going to be a 2+ instead of a 3+. It gives a +1 to your catches and your ball pickups, also interception attempts, I believe. This is a great roster that he's building. I'm really impressed with this, and just how well he's been able to spread out this SPP and start building up this team. I think this is a tough roster to go up against for this Dark Elf team, right? If we look at the Dark Elf team, they have a little bit of Block, right? They have all 4 Blitzers who are now Blodgers. That is great. They have Block on the Baroness, who's also a Blodger. Great as well. But now he's got to watch out for so much Mighty Blow. He's got to watch out for Claw. He's got to watch out for Horns. He does have Russell on a couple of players. Russell's great on more brittle players. You'll see this a lot on, say, a Wood Elf team or other Elven teams where they're 8+. You pick up Russell. The both down result means, all right, I'll get knocked out, but there's no armor break. That's really what I'm after, just to keep those players alive. He has Leader on Duke. That's going to bring these effective rerolls up to 4 instead of 3. The 2 Witch Elves are very nasty with Frenzy. They have Frenzy, they're Blodge. One has Sidestep. Look at the 2 Sidestep players here, Zartan and the Baroness. Blodge with Sidestep is a nasty combination. Blodge, as we all know, means the POW is the only thing that's going to knock you down, unless some other skills in effect like Tackle or something. But it also means it's that much harder to knock this player down and remove them, right? If all you're looking for is a POW, that's a 1 in 6. A way to make that better is to chain block, right? Or look for the surf. Sidestep's really going to prevent that. It's very, very difficult to chain block somebody with Sidestep. It's very, very difficult to surf somebody with Sidestep. And if you're not careful, if Zartan ends up as the ball carrier, you might just be pushing this ball carrier closer to the end zone. A very nasty combination. He's got 2 of these players on the roster. I think Dead Fred just has to be very mindful of those 3 big guys. He has to watch out for those big guys. It's going to be a very delicate chess match tonight for the Dark Elf team as to who is going to mark the big guys and where. The big guys, he just wants them to dice out tonight. With just 3 rerolls on the opposing team, those big guys with the nega traits, they will almost certainly dice out at some point. Right? The Rat Ogre with the Animal Savagery is the one that won't really be dicing tonight. The Rizzo, so long as there's say Adelbert, right? So long as there's a friendly player adjacent to Rizzo, he'll always get the action. It's just if he fails the Animal Savagery roll, he'll have to beat up on a friendly first. But everyone else, I mean, might dice out. But again, the Juxtaposed Juggernauts are kitting these players out in such a way that he doesn't necessarily have to do that. Grendel with Guard, he doesn't have to roll dice with this Ogre. If he can position this Ogre just to leverage Guard, that'll be enough. Strength 5 can hold down the fort. Guard's very, very powerful in that situation as well. So I think Dead Fred, it's really his ball game to decide the momentum tonight. He's got to be careful of these pieces. He's got to be careful of giving up the blocks, and he's got to make sure that his players stay alive tonight if he wants to win. If he can do that, he can win very easily. Very easy for the Stark Elf team to score. The Chaos Renegades, murder. If they murder, I think they come out ahead tonight. All right, we'll head on over to Discord. We'll see if the coaches are ready to go. It looks like they indeed are. So we'll wait for this game to get underway. Real American Heroes currently seating in second place for the top 4 in the Spike Magazine Trophy. The top 2 teams of each division after Week 9 will make the cut, advance to the top 4. And the 2 finalists of the competition will earn an invitation to the Blood Bowl at the end of the season. Each season is 3 open competitions where anyone can join, whether they have participated earlier in the season or not. Anybody can join up and participate. And at the end of the season, we have an invitational. That's the Blood Bowl, where the top 2 teams of each competition, at least, are invited to duke it out in a single elimination bracket. Clear skies for this game this evening. Is that Griff? Is that Griff coaching? Oh, that's it. I hope the Dark Elves win. I'm just kidding. 8 fan factor for the Real American Heroes, 6 for the Juggernauts. 20K going back to the Juggernauts in the inducement phase. That's enough for a coach. Or did he not pick up anything? Juggernauts win the cost. They pick up nothing in the inducement phase. They say, let's just rock. And they choose to receive. So they'll be on offense to start. The Real American Heroes are going to start on defense. Electing no inducements. Could have picked up a cheerleader or a coach. A coach would give a +1 to the brilliant coaching result. Cheerleader gives a +1 to the cheering fans result. Brilliant coaching can give you an extra reroll. Cheering fans gives you a roll on the prayers to Nuffle table. SP Beaver asks, how much do they leave on the table? 20K. 20K is all they had, which is not a lot, but that's still an assistant coach or a temp agency cheerleader. Anchor defense for the Elves, currently 6 on the line for the Juggernauts. 1 wide with Tom Zarek in the left wide zone. Line strong to the right with the, well, was strong to the right. All 3 big guys on the line. All back to back. Doesn't really need the guard with these big guys. These big guys could probably split out into the tackle position if he wants instead. And then he can give guard to some weaker players in here. But he wants to keep them grouped up. He wants to dominate center pitch. So see if he can make that happen. Pulling players way off the line in the wide zones here. He's going to have to be careful that these Elves don't start to oppress the offense. Here's the kick. Really doesn't want a blitz event. Oh no. Pouring rain. You know what that means. There it is. A -1 to the catches, pickups, and pass interference. So the extra arms negated here by the pouring rain. 3-die block on the line to start with. It's going to be a POW against Shipwreck. Gets a KO to get things started. One-man player advantage for the Juggernauts. Second block's going to be a stun. Got the removal in the first block of the game. Just succeeded on the ball pickup. But wow, that was a scary ball pickup as well. Didn't pull any players in to create a pocket on the ball pickup. Just went in for the pickup. Happened to work out here. Remember, that was a 3+ instead of a 2+ thanks to the pouring rain. The Orc goes up onto the line now. This Skaven player has animosity towards the entire rest of the team, so if this ball needs to be handed off or passed to someone else, there's going to be a D6 roll, and on a 1, Yolanda's going to go, you know what? I'm not giving it to the likes of you. Turn 1 for the Real American Heroes now. Remember, they have 4 rerolls thanks to Duke, the leader, who's right here. So long as Duke is on the pitch, that extra reroll, that extra team reroll is going to be available to the Real American Heroes. If Duke is ever removed, that reroll is going to go away. A mark on Adelbert, number 7. The 2-die blitz gets a pal on Adelbert here with a 9+ to break armor. This is going to stay put, has plenty of movement left with Zartan. This is the sidestepping blodger. All 4 blitzers are blodgers. I went to the store yesterday to buy a... I bought an Xbox Series X on a whim. I already have a PlayStation 5. And I keep forgetting... Every time I buy an Xbox, I keep forgetting that Microsoft doesn't have rechargeable batteries built into the controllers. So I went to the store to get a play and charge kit for the controller. The grocery store was right nearby, so I went to the grocery store and a long story long, failed dodge here. That'll be a turnover. Long story long, there's this popcorn. So where I live, there's I'm sure it's a worldwide brand. I don't know if I'm sure, but we have a seasoning called Old Bay that you put on crabs, and there's a company that makes caramel popcorn with this Old Bay seasoning on it. I know it sounds terrible. It's not. It would be if you put a lot of Old Bay in it, but there's just a tiny bit, a dusting, a soupçon of Old Bay. It's actually really good. So I got, this is a long-winded way of saying I have delicious popcorn. Frenzy follow-up here into a 1-die gets a push. Boy, what a scary first activation here. If he fails that die roll, all these big guys are loners. So if he fails that die roll, that could very well be a turnover because he'd have to roll a 4+ if he wants to use a team reroll for them. 35 seconds on the clock. Taking marks. He's marking Zartan off in the left wide zone. Gotta keep this ball safe. These elves are elves. That means they're high agility, high speed. He'll have to watch out. He can't spread too thin. If he does, it could mean that just a 2+ it's just a 2+ dodge away to get a blitz on the ball carrier. Fails a rush. He's gonna have to re-roll this. Looks like he's trying to set up a cage in the left wide zone. Juggernauts on the bonus clock currently. That'll be the Juggernauts' turn, I think. Can't really move the Minotaur. I mean, he can move the Minotaur, but it's going to be a 4+. Yep, failed the roll. The Minotaur fails on Channeled Fury on a 2+ if it's a block or a blitz. Otherwise, it's a 4+. Turn 2 for the Real American Heroes. We'll see if they try to start encircling this defense or not. They're going to need some players in front of this defense, this offense, I should say. I should say. Of course I should say. They're an offense. But they need to keep a couple players in front of the cage. And I don't know if that's going to leave them with enough to start applying some pressure, but they could certainly harass. 2-die block on Tom Zarek will be a POW. My recommendation of the Xbox Series X is don't buy one. Don't buy one. There's nothing to play. It's great if you have Game Pass, I suppose, and you don't want to buy games, and you just want to buy things that will always be on Game Pass forever, which are first-party games. But that's not me. It's a neat device. It's a neat device for what it is. 2-die block on the Radiator is going to be a push. It was a real pain to shuffle my stuff from my Xbox One to the Xbox Series. It doesn't really detect. It's like, okay, well, there's all this weird terminology, right? Like, there's Xbox Series enhanced games and Xbox Series optimized games. And from what I can gather, Xbox Series optimized games are just Xbox Series games. And Xbox Series enhanced games are Xbox One games that have some additional enhancements for the Xbox Series. But it doesn't really do a great job of sort of auto-detecting. If, like, you know, if you have, say, Master Chief Collection, it doesn't say, oh, you're on an Xbox Series, so let me just download that version. It'll let you keep the Xbox One version and then tell you, hey, when you try to launch it, like, hey, there's actually the correct version if you want to download it. Of course I want to download it. What are you doing? So I spent hours and hours and hours just getting my games kind of back on the console. It's really obnoxious. Turn 3 for the Juggernauts now. And there's no, as far as I can tell, there's no easy way to upgrade the hard drive, the SSD, like there is on the PS5. The best you can do is add an external SSD, but then when you're installing games, you have to like either change the default location every time you want to download something, or you have to download it first and then move it. It's so weird. Juggernauts on their own 4-yard line in the left wide zone. They were not caged in or encircled by the defense. Dead Fred decided that was just a little too thin. shoving people around on the pitch, going to take marks, but oh boy, what's the game plan? So the problem here is he's exposing the ball while he repositions. So now he'll shift the ball back to the right. He now advances to his own 2-yard line. Maybe this means Ferdinand will not activate this turn. So trying to spread out his offense here as best as he can. He is activating Ferdinand. 3-die blitz, gets a pal out of it. Had to follow up due to frenzy. It still has movement left with this Minotaur. He can rebase someone. That's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to rebase from the outside, though. Rebases Zamet. All right, I now think Grendel's the critical piece. He doesn't want to activate Grendel and risk that boneheaded roll. He's going to break armor with Rizzo. Gets a KO. Well done. 2-man player advantage now for the Juggernauts. I think that's a good turn. Yeah, leaving the ogre right where he is. I think that's a smart move. Takes the blocks, pushes players away. Doesn't really have all the marks he wants. Being the bashier team, he wants to be able to take as many blocks as. Real American Heroes may just take their blitz and then reposition their defense. Dead Fred almost certainly looking for opportunities to take 2-die blocks. Dodge Chuckles, the rookie lineman, out back to safety over into the right wide zone. Takes a mark on Tom Zarek as well. 2 assists on Tom Zarek. This is a 2-die block by Zartan on Tom Zarek. He'll get a knockdown out of this. Can he get a 9+ out of this? No armor break. Good 2+ dodge by Zamet, the number 7 lineman. All of these dodges are 2+, so long as they're positive dodges, meaning that they're not dodging into an opposing tackle zone. In the game of Blood Bowl, a dodge is defined as when you are in an opponent's tackle zone and you try to move, that's a dodge. If you dodge, you make an edge roll, so in this case, edge 2+. So it's a 2+ roll, -1 for every tackle zone you move into. So it doesn't matter how many tackle zones are on you when you start to move. What matters is how many tackle zones are in the space you're trying to move into. So a positive dodge would be a tackle zone a space with 0 tackle zones. So you just get your straight edge roll. Whereas a dodge with a -1 modifier would have 1 opposing tackle zone that you're trying to move into. Turn 4 for the Juggernauts. The ball is going to be on the opposing 4-yard line. They're caging up with a big guy. Grendel on the front right corner. Pulling players back into center pitch. Has a tight cage on the opposing 4-yard line at mid-pitch. Got to be careful of setting up players like this. 3-die blitz gets the pal on Chuckles. 8+ breaks armor. Doesn't get the armor break. when you set up players like this, and you give your opponent an opportunity to respond to this little box here can allow them to easily chain push players out to somewhere else. So you could, a big mistake that players will do is they'll put a player here, they'll put a box of players here, 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 and here, and they'll say, maybe this is their ball carrier. They say, he's safe, and he's not safe, because what the opponent will do is they'll set up for the chain block, and this guy, maybe they block this guy, and they block this guy, and he has nowhere to go, so they chain push here, the ball carrier is now here, and then they can here, they can maybe take a block here or something, or fill in the gap somehow, and now they have a surf attempt on the ball carrier. Final turn of the first quarter. The Real American Heroes doing a pretty good job here of keeping their defense in check and not giving up too many blocks to this bashy team. Their job is simply to stop the touchdown. Failed dodge in the right wide zone. He'll have to re-roll this to keep the drive alive. Takes a mark on Ferdinand. That's 2 marks on Ferdinand. Might be trying a frenzy blitz on the Minotaur. Repositions the Baroness back into a linebacker position, middle linebacker. Three marks the friendly opposing cage on the Minotaur. So looking to lock down this Minotaur with 3 players. We'll see if that trade is enough. Repositions Scarlet, the other Witch Elf, back into the the left outer linebacker position. Shuffling players around to stay in front of the cage. Destro back in position. He is going to go for the blitz. 2-die blitz. He gets a push or wrestle. Wrestle might be a good trade here. Yeah, he's going to use wrestle. So it's no armor break, but that's still a pretty good trade because now this Minotaur has to blitz. He can't just block. And if he blitzes, he only has 2 MA. So he stands up, just straight up stands up and works out. That was a 50-50 stand-up. Remember, Unchanneled Fury is a 4+ unless he's blocking or blitzing. I think that was a good move by Dead Fred. Advances the Ogre 1 space forward, takes a mark on Zartan, the side-stepping blitzer. They advance the ball 1 space forward. They're now on the opposing 6-yard line. Yolanda, a blodger. War Horseman does not want to have to give that ball up to another teammate, if at all possible, due to that animosity on number 10. .40 seconds on the clock here for the Juggernauts. They're down to 2 rerolls for the half. A full quarter has gone by. They've only gained 6 yards. 2-die block by Rizzo will be a push. Frenzy 2-die blitz, rather. Frenzy follow-up. It's another dodge push here. Keeps the tight cage together at mid-pitch. Ralph is going to advance forward to take a mark on Zartan. Turn 5 for the Real American Heroes. So they find a number of their players marked, but they're the ones who get the block here. We'll see if he can get a blitz that can convert into a couple of blocks here. I'm not sure he can, especially with that ogre holding down the fort at mid pitch. You can't negate the assist by the ogre due to the block. Due to the guard skill. Three plus dodge by Snake Eyes. I'm not sure Dead Fred was aware of that. Rizzo, the Red Ogre, has a prehensile tail that's going to add a +1 to the dodge. Instead of being a 2+, that was a 3+. Shifts the two Witch Elves back a couple of spaces. No real action, no action at all out of the Witch Elves so far in this game. Takes a 1-die block on Boris. This is not going to work out. He's deciding whether he wants to re-roll this or not. I think he does. Yeah, he does. He'll get a push. Is he going to stand up Tomax and try his luck? He stands up Tomax. He gets a 1-die with Duke, but it is a bad roll. All right. Now he's got a 2-die. 2-die with Tomax. He'll get the knockdown. Well done. Looking for a 9+ here to remove this Minotaur. Real American Heroes on the bonus clock. They're down to 6 minutes, 20 seconds. And now turn 6 for the Juggernauts. They have 3 turns to get on the board. They are only on the opposing 6-yard line. Next turn, they're going to have to be in scoring position. They're currently 1 space away with Yolanda. Grendel's going to move forward a space. Mark Zartan, the number 3 blitzer. So far, that's a very smart ogre. Keeping this tight cage in check. This tight cage means it's going to be very difficult to move around, as Juggernauts are finding. If you could loosen up the cage a little bit, it gives them some more avenues, some more options for movement. And it does that for the simple fact that he's controlling more pitch. 3-die blitz by Rizzo. Gets a dodge push on Zartan. He'll get a follow-up blitz here. It's going to be a 2-die frenzy follow-up. Dead Fred choosing where to sidestep this this blitzer. Sidesteps him straight back. Another dodge push. So now Rizzo ahead of the cage, marking Scarlet, the number 13 Witch Elf. Successfully stands up Ferdinand once more on the 50-50 roll. Kills 85. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Welcome to the stream. All right, that's the end of turn 6 for the Juggernauts. They are now in scoring position. They'd like to make that safer than it is. Turn 6 for the Real American Heroes. They've been slowly pushing down pitch. 6 turns. They've gained 8 yards. Repositioning the defense to stay in front of this cage. This cage has not been making many drastic moves. They've been staying very tightly coupled together, and that's not giving them a lot of options for movement. Often a tactic for moving a cage, even if you want a tight cage, say these are your corners. Maybe you put a corner here, or maybe you put a corner here or something. You take the blocks, you open up the lane, and then shift everybody over. And now your ball carrier advances. Bitwise Bard with the raid. Thank you so much. It's very kind of you. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Thank you very much for the raid. Has to use the reroll here. Gets a push on the Rat Ogre. Real American Heroes down to 1 reroll for the half. A kind sir, welcome to the stream. Thanks again, Bitwise Bard, for the raid. I very much appreciate it. "15 seconds left on the clock for the Real American Heroes. So far, doing a pretty good job of just stopping this offense dead in its tracks, but the Juggernauts not getting terribly fancy here. They're just muscling their way down pitch. They've got 2 turns to score. They are in scoring position currently. They have a number of pieces to contend with. Knocks down the kicker, Ralph, but will not break armor. Here's the blitz. The blitz on Rizzo. Does he have the dice? He only has 1 assist here, right? Yeah. Oh, he blitzed Ralph. He blitzed Ralph. Oh, Bitwise Bard, that is quite all right. Thanks again for the raid, and thank you for your well wishes. Two-die block on the Rat Ogre. Gets a pal here, looking for a 9+. 9+ is average armor. Doesn't get it. Turn 7 for the Juggernauts now. They got to make something happen. They're currently in scoring position, but they're 2 rushes away. They want to make that a little safer. That means at least 2 spaces, probably at least 3 spaces, just in case they get pushed back a space. To try to make that run safer, and then they're going to have a plan to keep the lane open so that they can score on turn 8. They have 2 rerolls. That's a good place to be. They advance Grendel just 1 space forward. He marks Destro, the number 1 blitzer. Marks Duke, but on the opposite end here, it's going to give Duke a +2 dodge toward the ball. That might be what he wants if he thinks Duke is better used repositioning back toward the end zone. The only way he's going to reliably get the Minotaur back into the game is if he dedicates the blitz to the Minotaur. That's going to make that a 2+ on the Unchanneled Fury roll. Stands up Rizzo. All these big guys behaving all half. They've been practicing. They've been practicing all week to maintain their fury, to find their inner calm, to suppress their animal savagery. And Grendel here, he's just been hitting the books. he's just been reading. He's learned. He's in Calc 1 now. He's learning what it means to integrate a function. So the ball's going to shift laterally to the left. Juggernauts with 5 minutes, 3 seconds left on the bonus clock. Still have their blitz. It looks like they might be saving it for the Minotaur. There it is. 2-die blitz. This will work out thanks to the block skill, but it's going to be a wrestle. So both players will go down. Four minutes, 36 seconds left on the bonus clock for the Juggernauts. They take the 2-die with Boris against the Witch Elf. They get a pal here. This could be a big removal. 8+ breaks armor. Can't do it. And that'll be the turn. Turn 7 coming up for the Real American Heroes. So Yolanda, number 10, still in scoring position, but has only advanced a single space down pitch. I think the Real American Heroes will be able to stop this fairly easily. They'll need to cover the sideline. Yep. There's Zartan. So all he has to cover, right, with one lateral movement, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's the second GFI, right? So this angle here, this angle here, this is the pitch he has to defend, barring a handoff or a pass or something. .35 seconds on the clock for the Real American Heroes. Successful dodges thus far. Just needs to be careful that he doesn't give up a lane to this Chaos Renegades team. If he gives up a lane, if there's an open lane, then we could see a handoff. Two-die block on Rizzo the Rat Ogre. Ooh. Both standing result or a frenzy follow-up push. He's going to push. Two-die frenzy follow-up. Double pals on Rizzo. SB Beaver says, does the rain lower the handoff roll? Absolutely. Yes, it does. But better a 75% handoff than, say, 7 die rolls, right? Two-die block on Last Dance. We'll get a knockdown here. Big 10 plus to break armor on this orc. Can't do it, but that's fine. That's true. Fail to dodge. He'll spend his reroll here, I have to imagine. Yeah. Repositions into columns to try to stop this offense. All right. He could try to blitz down Chuckles and then go for the handoff. That'd be a 75% handoff to 2 rushes to score. Fails the Unchanneled Fury roll with Ferdinand. $75% handoff with the reroll, that is. But he's got to get Chuckles out of the way. Oh, repositions Grendel over to the left. Oh, where's he going? Where is he going? I don't think he's going to get through the sideline. He could come out this way, and then he has a clear lane here. .48 seconds left on the clock for the Juggernauts. Von Rue, welcome to the stream. Von Rue with the sub. Thank you so much. It's very kind of you. Oh, man. Went for the blitz on Zartan. He was going to try to power down that left sideline, and now I don't think he has a way to get down pitch. Oh, thanks, Von Rue. I am indeed well. I hope you are, too. And again, thank you very much for the sub. It really means a lot. I do appreciate it. .12 seconds. Yeah, I think the blitz might have had to been on Chuckles here, but now he's just gotta go for it. But boy, that puts your player at some real big risk. Because if you fail, there's an armor break you have to make, right? SPB asked, why not push there? Because he would have had to have pushed into the sideline. Oh, no, he wouldn't have had to push into the sideline. I don't know. I don't know why he didn't push there. Yeah, big 5+ dodge here. He's just got to go for it. It's going to spin the reroll. It's not going to work out. Such a scary dodge to make, too, because you're only AV 8+. Ball's going to end up on the 24-yard line. Shut off the opportunity there with the blitz. Going to be turn 8 for the Real American Heroes. Boy, if I were this elf team, I would be fouling Yolanda this turn. Real American Heroes on turn 8. They've got a number of marks. Let's see who they can take it on. They can take it on Grendel. They can take it on Rizzo. So Zamet could come in on Rizzo, get him to the sideline, and then try to surf. So Rizzo would get pushed here, and then Ralph can surf the Rat Ogre. Takes a 2-die on the Orc back in No Man's Land. Gets a knockdown. Marking Grendel. Probably looking to take both blocks on these 2 big guys. 2 assists on Grendel. First block will probably be against Rizzo. Nope, takes it on Grendel. Gets a pal here. Can't break armor. That's 2 assists, so a 1-die block on Rizzo. Just fine. Now it's a 2-die. Really just needs a push here. He's gonna do it with the witch elf. No, he's not. That'll be a turnover. That's the end of the half. Real American Heroes did their job. 0-0 the score. The Real American Heroes are going to be on offense to start the second half of this game. They're just going to get back 1 KO out of their 2. That'll bring them back up to 11. Replays of Core. Welcome to the stream. Skulls and more skulls. Skulls for days. Yeah, so it'll be 11v11 on the pitch here to start the second half of the game. Now the Real American Heroes with the edge advantage and the speed advantage, boy, it's going to be real tough stopping them from scoring. And if they can stall this out for any amount of time, they're likely to come out the winners in this game. A tactic to do that when you're a more fragile team, although they are Dark Elves, so I wouldn't really call them fragile per se, but you might see another Elven team just retreat, right? Retreat right off on the kickoff return. Have the opponent come to you, and this is a way to get a couple of turns of stalling as opposed to like muscling your way down here, and you've taken a beating and now you want to stall, and you're going to continue to take a beating while you try to stall this out before scoring. But in this case, it might be a good tactic for this Dark Elf team just to kind of throw this defense out of position. The defense not screening out the Elves. So the defense giving up both wide zones completely. All right. They pull this defense in tight. Grendel, the defensive tackle. Rizzo and Ferdinand in the secondary even. Remember that I've forgotten their name. The Juxtaposed Juggernauts. Remember that the Juggernauts, they do have a kicker. So this deviation, instead of a D6, it's going to be a D6 divided by 2, meaning that he can fairly accurately put this ball where he wants it to be. Might mean the Real American Heroes pull back 2 to receive on the kickoff return rather than 1. But currently it's going to be Duke. .39 seconds remaining to set up the offense. They're spreading this offense out. 3 on the line, spread wide. They're giving up center pitch. Here's the kickoff. Remember, it's a +1 or a -1 to pickups. Nobody on this roster has sure hands. For this drive, if one of your players calls an injury against 3 SPP. Who got that? The Juggernauts got it. Oh man, that's not the team that... Oh. Well, they're the team to do that, and now they're going to get SPP from it. 3 SPP on an injury. Ball kicked the opposing 10-yard line, right down the middle. Turn 9 for the Real American Heroes. They have 4 rerolls thanks to the leader, Duke himself. Does Duke have a last name? He must, right? Conrad Duke Hauser is his name. Who would have known? SP Beaver says, did that say get 3 SPP for getting an injury or causing one? Come on, man. It's causing one. So looks like the Real American Heroes are going to retreat. This is going to be their stall tactic. So they're going to pull this ball back. They pick the ball up with Hawk, the number 2 blitzer. And they walk that ball all the way back to their own 20-yard line. 3 SPP for getting an injury. You've been hurt. Here's your prize. It's like the blue shell of Mario Kart. The Prayer Knuckle table just has a blue shell on it. If you're behind, take the lead. SP Beaver says, I love the idea of the elves basing all their players and hope for some SPP. Yeah. Except this is funny. That would be funny. This is a prayer in favor of the Juggernauts. And Grendel is going to trundle down pitch to the opposing 10-yard line. So there's going to be one turn here of nothing by the Juggernauts. They're going to have to be careful with this. When they come in to meet this offense, they are absolutely going to have to screen out the pitch. They cannot afford for these elves to get behind them. Could be banking on the big guys to take the blocks, but that just means that Rizzo's the only one guaranteed to get their action. Which means if I were the Dark, if that's going to be the plan, if he's going to rely on the big guys to blitz down a ball carrier, I would just run toward the Minotaur. Failed the unchanneled Fury roll there. 50-50. He's going to stay put. Rizzo has nobody next to him either. If he's going to activate, Ralph the kicker might need to move up just to ensure that Rizzo activates. Nope, he's just going to naturally roll the Animal Savagery roll. He'll be able to advance the Rat Ogre. Juggernauts back on the bonus clock with 3 minutes, 31 seconds remaining for the game. He moves Yolanda out wide to the left, attempting to set up a bit of a screen here. Turn 10 for the Real American Heroes. Real American Heroes have already guaranteed their spot in the semifinals of this competition. They're just looking to get through these last 2 weeks without any serious injuries. They walk the ball all the way back into their own end zone. If only there was a safety rule in Blood Bowl. I guess you could walk back into your end zone. You'd have to be tackled in order for it to be a safety, but still. SB Beaver, thank you for the bits. Going to 0, praise to Nuffle. Hoping for some, I'm going to guess, hoping for some murder. Welcome to the stream. 45 seconds left on the clock here for the Real American Heroes. They're looking to stall this out for one more turn before getting into the action. No doubt. I'm sure we'll see some elf shenanigans. Turn 10 for the Juggernauts now. Unable to score in the first half. They had a pretty good offense there. I think, in my opinion, chose the wrong direction to blitz. And it didn't work out, but that's all right. Because really, the Juggernauts are just looking for some SPP here. Well, I mean, a touchdown would have been SPP, but they don't need to win this game since they're already eliminated from the competition. Oh, that was another thing. We talked about in the earlier game today how I played Blood Bowl First Edition this week. SPP is not something you earn after a game. It's something you get at the beginning of the game. So you get 4 SPP, and you roll on a table, and you just get basically 4 different buffs that you can assign to your players however you want. All 4 can go on one player. You can spread them out to other players. They can get magic items. It's really weird. Juggernauts marching down pitch. That's true. Yeah, if this was the original Dead Friend, make it control War Horseman's big guys. There is confusion and something else. Stupidity. Where instead of being boneheaded like in this game where they lose their tackle zones in their action, your opponent just gets to straight up control them. A little strong. 3:25 on the bonus clock for the Juggernauts. They're keeping their defense in this arrow. They're afraid of getting... they're afraid of these elves running behind them. He is screening out the pitch here. He's a little weak on the sidelines, but that's okay. Moving these big guys into center pitch. Ooh, they might get left behind. We'll see. Turn 11 for the Real American Heroes. They're going to have to engage here on this turn. Von Rue, thank you for the bits. Cheering for the Real American Heroes. A mark on Yolanda, a mark on Tom Zarek. Both those players in the left wide zone for the defense. Good 2+ dodge around the right wide zone. Destro down pitch now. Another good 2+ dodge by the Baroness over in the right wide zone. Moob09 says surfing the right. He could, but it's a GFI, I think. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 1, 2 GFIs. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 GFI. Yeah, I was right the first time. Sorry, yeah, not GFI. Man, I need to stop saying GFI. It's a rush, one rush. SPB were asked, will Frenzy force the rush? Yes. Yes, it will. Real American Heroes back on the bonus clock. They're under 4 minutes now. Taking lots of marks. They're going to try to leave this team behind next turn. They have yet to move Hawk, and he is very much exposed. Moves the ball carrier to the left sideline on the 16-yard line. Here's the blitz, trying to surf the Skaven player. Here's the first die roll. 2 dice. He gets a push. Frenzy follow-up into 2 dice. There it is. Well done. Good surf on the left side there with Frenzy. Got rid of a nuisance piece. Spent the final rush roll to reposition the Witch Elf off the sideline. Turn 11 now for the Juggernauts. The Juggernauts move. Oh boy, I'm going to try to pronounce this. Liselot Iker? Liselot Iker, we'll say. Number 8 lineman. All the way back, retreating back to the 6-yard line. Retreating a number of players back, saying, oh, this didn't work out. Let's retreat and try to have a defense when these elves get by us. Boy, risky with the Minotaur. That Minotaur, remember, it's a 50-50 to action that Minotaur at all unless he's blocking or blitzing. Retreating every open player. Oh, I don't think this is going to do what he wants. So he's retreating them back, trying to get them into the drive. But what's going to happen here is they're going to get marked from over here. So an elf or two are going to come in this way, and there's going to be a protective contingent here while the ball carrier moves up. Two-die block by the Rat Ogre. Not heading toward the ball here. He's going to take it against Chuckles. Breaks armor, gets an injury out of it. Three SPP for Chuckles, thanks to the prayer to Nuffle. Had to follow up due to Frenzy, but this Rat Ogre is in real danger of being left behind this drive. Takes the one-die block on Snowjob. Works out due to the block scale. Not as risky as you might think. Down to 2 minutes for the Juggernauts on the bonus. There should be a 2-minute warning, but not like a stoppage of play. There should just be a warning that says, hey, you have 2 minutes on the bonus clock left. Takes the blitz on Tomax. Gets a push here. May as well take the push. He doesn't want a both down result. Frees up Tom Zarek to move, but where's he going to go? Wow, 3+ dodge takes a mark on Hawk. And now turn 12, back to the real American heroes. So he's going to try to force these elves to roll some dice. At this point, with this game state, this might be his best option. Real American Heroes trying to decide how they're going to keep their ball carrier safe. There are a couple of dodges involved, but I think they'll be okay. Dark Camino 123, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed Blood Bowl. I love this game. $40 on the clock for the Real American Heroes. Two plus dodge, one rush, two rush, three die rolls. Hawk, the ball carrier, gets across the line of scrimmage to the opposing 4-yard line. Setting up a very wide cage for this ball carrier. There's the final rush to protect the ball carrier. And now most of the defense is behind the ball. Ralph, the number 4 human lineman, way off the ball to the right side, but still just behind, or just at the rear of the cage. Failed a dodge here by Snowjob. He's deciding whether he wants to re-roll this or not. I might. With 4 on turn 12, I'd probably re-roll that and try to get Tomek's down pitch as well. He says, nah, I'm good. We'll call that a turnover. So Ralph way off on the right side, and Ferdinand the only other player that's really in position, but Ferdinand's a Minotaur. So if he's not blocking or blitzing, there's a 50-50 chance he's not doing anything. So final third of the third quarter coming up. Juggernauts finding themselves behind this Elven team, as is often the case when for any coach playing against an Elven team. Bonner asks, what's the Minotaur's MA? It's just 5. Like, the best he can do is try to blitz Scarlet. In fact, that's probably what he's going to do. Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's a rush. But then he's got to hope that he gets the knockdown on the first die roll. Unless he comes at it from the other angle, and then he guarantees he loses the second rush. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, he can't do it that way. 2-die block back in no man's land. This works out. Do the block skill. Gets nothing out of it. SP Beaver says, just dodge and take a hit on the ball. Yeah, he's not going to be able to dodge in there. There's tackle zones here. There's tackle zones here. Blitz still on the table. I have to imagine it's being saved for Ferdinand here. Probably going to try to blitz Scarlet. Hope that first blitz or that first block works out. Under a minute on the clock for the Juggernauts in bonus time. They have 40 seconds left for the rest of the game. They're going to continue running Ralph down pitch. He's now the safety, the lone secondary. Here's that blitz. Rush blitz. He got the POW. He got it. He has to follow up here. Breaks armor. Wow. What a blitz. Marks the ball carrier with that blitz. Removes one of the witch elves. Von Rue cheering for the defense. Thank you very much for the bits. Real American Heroes, they're going to start the fourth and final quarter of this game. It is a tie ball game. They have the ball on the opposing 4-yard line right now. The ball carrier currently marked by Ferdinand the Minotaur. Is it Minotaur or is it Minotaur? Like, I don't know. I've always called it Minotaur. I'm not sure what the correct pronunciation is. Probably Minotaur, I'd say. Maybe. Yeah, Minotaur. Minotaur sounds like a 1970s AMC automobile. Introducing the AMC Minotaur. Easy 2+ dodge by Snake Eyes behind Ferdinand. Here's the blitz. 2-dive blitz on Ferdinand. This will be a push. Hawk currently has a 2+ dodge away back to mid-pitch. The blitzer is going to reposition to mark Ralph, the safety. And there it is. Hawk's going to, I was going to say retreat. I guess it's really advancing. Hawk's going to advance all the way down to the opposing 18-yard line. Good 2+ dodge by Zartan to get a second mark on Ralph. Introducing the all-wheel drive Minotaur XL. Turn 13 back to the Juggernauts. With AM FM radio and cassette player. With the smoothest rolling windows money can buy. Not a whole lot that the Juggernauts can do at this point. Let's see. Ralph can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. GFI. They can mark the ball carrier. They can mark the ball carrier here. They can mark the ball carrier here. And it might be the best they can do. Bucket seats are the upgrade. Bucket seats are the upgrade. Otherwise, you get the bench seats. Zero to 60 in 4.2 seconds. Unless you roll a 1. Juggernauts, they can still, so they can mark with legs behind the ball carrier. A couple of rushes can get Ralph in front of the ball carrier, and I think that's the best they can really do here. They only have 6 seconds left on the clock with 8 on the bonus clock. 8 seconds to go. 2 seconds. Oh no. That's it. That's the turn. Turn 14 back to the Real American Heroes. They'll park this ball well into safety. And they'll try to murder Ralph here. Yeah, there's not Ralph, there's Hawk. Hawk's parking on the right sideline on the 24-yard line. Oh no, 2-die block is double skulls, so I have to re-roll this. Quad skulls! Quad skulls by Zartan. It's not gonna matter, but it's still pretty great. Novel says, you've had it too good. You've had it too good. Quad skulls. Turn 14 for the Juggernauts. Nothing they can do to get at this ball carrier. It's just about murdering people and maybe trying to force this score. Gonna break armor with the Minotaur. Good injury here. That's trying to collect some SPP. Real American Heroes deciding whether to use the Apothecary here or not. They do, and didn't get anything out of that. So it's going to be a serious injury nonetheless. +1 to future casualty rolls. Boy, +2? Is that how that works? A +2 to future casualty rolls? Ugh. 3-die block on the Baroness. This will be a dodge push. Pieces scattered all over the pitch. You can tell all the action has taken place right here. Re-rolls. Got through the loner roll here. Re-rolls wanted to knock down, trying to get some more SPP on the Ogre here. Gets a push out of it. Unless you took the both down result, which maybe you do, but... Oh, no you don't, because she has block. You don't take the both down result. Dude, I block on Destro as a pal here, looking for a 9+. Doesn't get it. Oh, I love that effect. See how the rain actually is spatial? Oh, that's so neat. That's so neat. Anyway. Dude, I block it to push on Snow Job. Turn 15 for the Real American Heroes. I am super skittish. I would probably score this turn, but Dead Fred certainly doesn't have to. People ask why. You're asking why I would score this turn? Is that what you're asking? It gives me another opportunity to get more SPP, in my opinion. He can get there, yeah, but what Dead Fred's doing here is he's basically stopping him from getting at the ball. Like, getting at the ball is not really a concern. But, to be fair, he probably doesn't want to give up 2 turns. Two-die blitz gets the knockdown on Ralph. No armor break. A wall of protection between Hawk, the number 2 blitzer, the ball carrier, and everyone else on the defense. Man. Can you believe it? R.I.P. Zamet. Already spent the apothecary. 2+. Oh, I didn't even get the replay. Come on now. Come on now. 2+ dodge into a death by Zamet, the level 2 lineman. One of the Crimson Guard twins has died. Turn 15 now for the Juggernauts. That's true. He didn't give up the SPP to the Ogre. That's very true. SP Beaver, thank you for the bits. I'm not even going to worry about the second half of the pitch. It's really nothing going on down there. That's true. I think the Ranger has. Yeah, Tomac should die as well, since they share each other's pain. It's in the rules. Look, I don't make the rules. I mean, I might actually make the rules, but I don't make the rules. 20 seconds left on the clock for the Juggernauts. No bonus times. This is all they have left. They're advancing some players down pitch. Or way back in the backfield, I guess, at this point. Repositioning to try to get some blocks on turn 16. They're not going to get them, however. Because on turn 16, Hawk is going to score. Turn 16 for the American Heroes. Here's where I would absolutely... I know I have 3 rerolls, but I would just score. Just to ensure the win. But he does have 3 rerolls, so he could take blocks. Does he have anything down here? Not really. Got to move back to mid-pitch to score. Real American Heroes are going to take the lead 1-0. Well done by Dead Fred. Dead Fred retreated, pulled back on the kickoff, and made the Juxtaposed Juggernauts meet them down on their half of the pitch. I think the Juggernauts got a little too aggressive with that, just went in way too far, gave up those wide zones, and the Elves just ran right past them. That's something to watch out for with these fast teams, with Elven teams, with Skaven teams. Even human teams can do that because they have their very fast catchers. SPB were asked, is there anyone the Ogre can throw for 1 turn? No. No, there's not. So 11v7 on the pitch. It's going to be 1 turn unless there is a timeout. If there's a timeout, the Juxtaposed Juggernauts have a real shot at tying this ball game. 4-man player advantage for the Juggernauts. They'll just want to set up an offense on either side of the pitch and go for it. Yes, but that is correct. They do have access to a goblin, but the Juxtaposed Juggernauts have nobody to throw. Humans also, by the way, have access to somebody with the right stuff. They have halflings. They're in the line. No reason to put anybody at center pitch unless you, other than players you want to get SPP on. Everyone else should be on ball protection duty on one side of the pitch, just in case there's a timeout. SPB asks, why have you not done that with your team yet? I have. I do. I I have a halfling. I tried a one turn on at one point, didn't work out. not that it should, but it was still fun to try. Very shallow on the kickoff return, so I would kick deep as the Real American Heroes. Because everybody's up at the line. Yeah, kick this ball deep. Free bribes, not going to work out for the Juggernauts. They're not going to be able to score. Real American Heroes are going to win this game 1-0. Ball kicked to the 16-yard line. Nothing to do but get some SPP on the line here. Fails the Animal Savagery roll. All those 4 pluses he rolled. And then injures his own orc. Might as well spend the Oppo here. Didn't spend the Oppo, why not? Didn't spend the Apothecary. 2-die block gets a POW. Looking for 9+. Doesn't get it. Boy, how hurt would you feel as a player if your coach was like, don't send the doctor in for him. Let him suffer. Just get him off the pitch. Gets KO. Has a 3-die on Duke. Oh boy. All these assists are unnecessary, except for the foul. He could bring in a foul with Ralph, a GG foul. Well, not anymore. There's the 3-die. Got the POW on Duke. No armor break, that's the game. 1-0. The Real American Heroes win this one. Well done. And with that win, the Real American Heroes will be 6-1-0 going into their final game of regulation here in the Spike Magazine Trophy. 19 points. Look at that TD differential, a +10. 12 touchdowns scored, just 2 given up. Very well played by both coaches. That was a lot of fun to watch. Dead Fred really putting on a clinic all competition long. Just has had a great competition, looking to make sure his team will be the best it can be going into the top 4. I wish all the top 4 teams best of luck. We have 5 teams left in this competition. 3 have earned spots, 2 are duking it out. And there are the final 2 duking it out. Alphetus Australis and Harlequins BBFC are fighting for that 4th and final spot. Oh, it's gonna be a great week 9. We have one last game to play here in week 8. It's going to be Maximum Von Sydow versus Nevagana Malik versus Chime. That's Lizards versus Orcs. That is probably going to cost an extension or 2 due to one of the coaches being unavailable for a week. So that will probably won't get scheduled for a bit. But when it does get scheduled, you'll be able to check out and get alerted to those schedules on our website at maml.club. That's MAML.CLUB, here on Twitch or on our social media pages on Blue Sky, Twitter, and Facebook. You can also watch previous games on our YouTube channel, Play Blood Bowl. Man, this game's so much fun. I love this game. There's lots of ways to play it. You can play it via Blood Bowl 3 on Steam, the Epic Game Store, PlayStation and Xbox, and in tabletop form at your friendly local game store. In fact, crossplay is coming on June 11th, so you'll be able to pick it up, say, on the PlayStation or the Xbox and play with your friends on Steam and vice versa. Should be great. Yeah, give it a shot. I think this game's fantastic. But until that final game of week 8, One more week left. I can't believe it. We're already going into week 9 here in this second competition of the season. We have one more competition after this. So we'll have week 9. We'll have the top 4, the semifinals and the finals. And then we'll have the Dungeon Bowl. Registration will open for the Dungeon Bowl shortly after the Spike Magazine trophy finishes up. I have a list of players to remind about the registration, a bunch of new coaches to the league that will want to play. And if you want to play with us, you can head over to our Discord channel and just say, hey, Ava, I want to sign up for the Dungeon Bowl, and we'll get you signed up. Doesn't matter if you've played Blood Bowl before or not. This league's deliberately set up to be friendly to everyone and to give everyone a shot. If you come in with a fresh team in the Dungeon Bowl, you have a very real shot at making the Blood Bowl if you play well. Dark Camino 123 says, I play on PlayStation, can't wait for crossplay. Or I'll wait for crossplay. Yeah, man. I'm very, very hopeful that we'll have crossplay for our Dungeon Bowl. So if you want to play with us, come hang out in the Discord. Just let me know that you want to play. I'll put you on the list and I'll remind you for when signups start and tell you how to sign up. It's very easy to do. But yeah, that's going to do it for tonight. I love this game. I hope you do too. Until the final game of week 8, take care, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.